riding along in my automobile. My baby beside me at the wheel. Hi everyone, we are back again for another one of these that we like to do, going to pre-releases, and we're driving in the car again. So today's pre-release, Dragon, I almost said EX Dragon. The EX Dragon was my first ever pre-release where I got my POP ID. Today's pre-release is Dragon's Exalted, black and white Dragon's Exalted, not EX Dragon's Exalted. So this set is based on Japanese set Dragon Blade Dragon Blast. By now we pretty much know the entire set list. It is pretty much just Dragon Blade Dragon Blast. However, I actually made up a list of things to talk about for you guys. But we're not going to talk about that until I get landed in Memphis. Once again, we are going to the Memphis pre-release because that's where people I know, and so it's the one I'm familiar with. So we're going to go to that one. Yeah, I guess we'll talk more about the set and how I feel about it and other sort of things later. For right now, I guess we'll talk about some news in the TCG world. That's half of what these are, is Kooper talking about things unrelated to the actual set. So I guess one of the big things that came out of last week, Black White 6 in Japan, Cold Flare, Freeze Bolt, or whatever it is. I think that's it. Whatever. I think it's the Japanese names of the attacks. So yeah, those got spoiled a few weeks back, but I don't have the cards. Okay, MEMPHIS 57 miles. So that's good. We're about an hour out, I guess, and it's 8:10, so this should be fine. We should get there. Plenty of time for me to do some ramblings in the car and stuff. So anyway, Black White 6 was spoiled, but I'm not really going to talk about that right now. Apart to say that I have built a Keldeo Blastoise deck, Keldeo EX Blastoise deck, which for the time being I'm calling My Little Turtle. That way, I can get the freaking pony reference out of the way, but it'll still have turtle in there. And that sucker is amazing. I've been doing just seeing setup and assuming the opponent doesn't do anything terribly disruptive on their first turn, like play an N or get a first turn knockout, something like that, which definitely can happen, but the format's a little bit slower. Turn 1 Night Spheres and the crap are not as really the norm. I've been able to get out turn 2 Blastoise, and over half of the games, over half of the trials, for probably 75%. I think I did it 14 times, and 8 times I got it out on turn 2, and the times I didn't get it out on turn 2, I was able to get it out on turn 3 all but about 2 times. So it was crazy, and a lot of that is due to 2 of those cards from Black White 6, which are Skyla, who can search out rare candy. If you've got 4 Skyla, 4 rare candy, that's 8 outs to rare candy that you can get, as well as Ditto. Ditto, I might talk about Ditto some more later. I personally love that Ditto card. It seems so stupid when you first look at it, but it does a lot of good things, especially for Stage 2 decks. It allows you to keep the Ditto in play 1 turn. They don't know necessarily what it's going to become, and then next turn throw down the basic and instantly rare candy. You're allowed to do that. It's just like Swoop Teleporter pretty much, if you were around for that card. It also allows you, another great use of it is a variable active in that Keldeo deck, Blastoise. I've got 2 Emolga and 2 Ditto, and sometimes you have an out to an Emolga that you want to start on with the first turn, like a level ball, for example, but you don't start with the Emolga, and nothing really has a free retreat. And so that Ditto allows you to start with the Ditto, and then get an out to a Emolga and still have Emolga while not actually playing for Emolga. So it pulls double duty. It sort of thins the deck a little bit. It's just a nice filler basic. If you don't really want to run any other basics to clog yourself down with, you can get Ditto out of your hands, and you can throw him down and instantly transform him if you want. I don't know, just a nice little utility card to have. It'll be interesting to see how people use them. But anyway, so that's Is there anything else I wanted to talk about Black White 6 right now? Yeah, not especially. Maybe I'll do another one of those things like I did where I yacked about Dark Rush last winter, but I'll probably wait until Black White 7 comes out, the Plasma Gale, and then I'll just like cover both at once if we don't already have. For the time being, I'm going to call the next set Black 2 White 2 because it's probably going to be called that, or at least heavily based on it because, you know, it's Black and White 2 are going to come out by that time. So to avoid calling it Black White 2, which could either mean A, Red Collection in Japan, or B, Emerging Powers in the US, I'm just going to call it Black 2 White 2 for right now, so it's not ambiguous. And as alluded, or as I mentioned, I did bring my Jasmine playboard. I'm probably not going to bring it in because it's like a 23 by 15, maybe a little bit less than that, hunk of cardboard that I don't want to have to lug around in a crowded area. But I do love the crap out of that thing. I love it. Actually, no, I love the love out of that thing. How about that? How about I just love that thing? Yeah. Anyway. I was gonna say something in the front. Oh, yeah. It being like mounted on cardboard is actually really helpful because I'm able to like put it in my lap, and if I don't have like a full table of space, I can use half, you know, the table space I do have for another deck, and then I can just sit down on my lap and play on my lap, and it's nice that way. But anyway, yeah, less useful for in crowded areas toting it around. So I still need to get an actual mat made of it at some point. But anyway, so the other big no, I haven't mentioned that yet. The other big news in the TCG world is TCGO is finally getting its act back together. Yay! Ow, my elbow. TCGO is finally getting its act back together. Shockingly, they actually seem to be like on schedule to finish on schedule. Supposedly, PvP is going to be relaunched by the end of August, which is pretty much what they said. They say by the end of summer. I consider August to be the last month of summer, September to be the first month of autumn or fall. So there's that, and that's going to be great. Dragons Exalted and Dark Explorers are going to launch, I guess, at least almost the same time, if not the same time, which is going to make for an interesting trade market those first few days. So yeah, that's something to look forward to. We'll be able to make videos of that again, I hope. I'll have to see how the downloadable client and the laptop and Camtasia work together, but I'll probably do a test of that at some point later. Anyway, definitely excited for that, because as of right now, I don't know if I'll be doing any premiere events or anything during the fall. I kind of doubt it, since I will be busy with, you know, school and stuff, finishing up last semester. That, and I'm really not sure what deck I want to play. I mean, I was sort of in love with Garchomp, you know, there at first, and now I'm sort of in love with Blastoise, so it's like, why can't we get cards at the same time Japan does? But anyway, you know, I mean, water's blue, so I'm going to favor, if there's a playable water deck that I kind of like, I'm going to play that, so I'm probably going to focus on Keldeo Blastoise now, and also just because, you know, there'll be one more set. We'll get Plasma Gale before States and Spring Regionals, I think, which provides a nice segue into the next thing. Some of the structures of organized play is being overhauled. Battle roads are no longer going to have top cut, which means that it'll just be determined by the Swiss parent, how well you did in Swiss, which hopefully there's some more changes to be announced on that, like a lower best finish limit, so you can't hit up 8 battle roads and, you know, and get mad amounts of CP, championship points, or else just do away with championship points completely at battle roads, and just really not make it worth it. You know, I mean, you know, just to have it be a tournament where you can bring, you know, a fun deck, and it doesn't really matter. It gives you play points, but it doesn't give you necessarily give you championship points or anything. I don't know, something or other, or I don't know, maybe do some other things, like if you go X and 1, you get 1 CP, and you have a best finish limit of 2 or something. I don't know, something to slightly encourage you to go, but not necessarily to go to a bunch and dominate them all. Anyway, I'm sure that'll be announced probably by the time Worlds is over. I don't know when this video is going to get to go up, since my internet is kind of crummy until the 11th, but hopefully I can put it up in a somewhat timely manner. Worlds, what's Worlds? I think it's the weekend after the next weekend's pre-releases, so I don't know, it's sometime in August. So anyway, that should be interesting to keep an eye on. Although anyone who's not going to Worlds has largely moved on to a black, white, on mindset, of course. What's the other big? Oh, the other big thing is regionals. There's not going to be 3 different days that regionals can be on. Supposedly there's going to be the same number of regionals, so it's just going to be, it'll either be in the fall, winter, or spring for your region, which some people are upset about, because now, you know, the people with the big pocketbooks are going to be able to hit up 3 regionals and, you know, have more chances to do well at those. Even if the best finish limit was 2, you know, that still means you've got 3 shots to get 2 good scores instead of 2 shots to get 2 good scores. That should be pretty obvious why that's an advantage. What is this in the road? It looks like a waste paper basket. Anyway. So yeah. Some people, well, I mean, I personally have I don't really have much of a vested interest in that, seeing as, you know, I'm probably not going to be attending any of them. Probably not. I probably won't do, well, I don't know. If there's like a battle road nearby or a city championship, which I doubt. I'm not sure even what city would have a city championship in Alabama. But I'll certainly look around, and if I go, I'll like make videos about it, I guess. Well, no, well, I don't know, because like, as I know, Garchomp is already up pretty expensive. Hopefully I pull some of those today, or Hydreigon. I don't know, we'll talk more about that later, I guess. I want to try to save most of this set for when we land, because I actually wrote out a little list of stuff to talk about. Right now I'm just going off the top of my head. Supposedly the Mac version, how many times have I said supposedly? I know this for definite. Unless they change things, which is not uncommon for TCGO. The Mac client is again getting the shaft. Max. It's funny. And of course Linux is getting completely screwed, so hope you have wine if you're a TCGO player and you have Linux. I think I saw that they recently made a thing for Unity, which is what TCGO is now being built on, where it can compile for Linux. So I don't know, maybe they'll do that, but I doubt it. Depends on how long it takes them to convert over to the Mac client. But like Windows is going to get the full stuff, and then Mac client is going to be worked on. But the good thing is that when the Mac client launches, it'll have like all the stuff that the Windows client has, so that's good. It won't just like be behind. It'll be, well, when we give it to you, you'll have all the bells and whistles. So I guess that's good. But whatever. I don't think Versus Friend is going to be implemented when PvP first relaunches, which seems kind of awkward, but whatever. You know, I guess it'll give us some time to get people who are peoples who we would want to do Versus Friend stuff, like against like Blah, and I'm not sure who else at TPX that plays. Second at least used to, but anyway. Also pertaining to TCGO, that whole contest thing, I haven't forgotten about it, but now that it's gotten its act together, I really don't see any need to, you know, give more questions or anything like that. I think it's pretty locked up who the top 4 or 5 are anyway. I don't see that changing, especially after I did the desired question, so that 2 people can get +3. It's almost always been Cayman and Greyhound getting the +3, so it's been like neck and neck, and neither of them have been able to, or you know, there hasn't been able to gain any ground because, you know, because of that. So it's sort of in a deadlock. I guess, and you know, and then TCGO went on everything. So here in the next coming, here shortly in the next, I don't know, sometime late August, I guess, I'll have a vid up for that to officially close it, and I'll just PM out the codes, and you know, I'll announce who won, and I'll just PM the pack codes. Originally I was gonna like do a trade so that people like couldn't just like then turn around and, you know, flip the codes for 50 cents each or whatever, but at this point, it's been such a big quagmire, I don't really care what you do with them, so whatever. Now you have two packs, choice of two new sets are going to be out for you to spend codes on, so yay. I also should probably hit up Troll and Toad. Their TCGO codes are currently on special, I think, for 25 cents each, and they've got like over 10,000 backlog, so I have a feeling that people kind of quit buying them at some point, so sometime between now and relaunch I should probably grab a bunch of those, because once TCGO starts back in, they'll probably go back up. But I think all the like special things like the Embor tins, they've tossed those. I think the Superior tin is like $2.99 or some ridiculous crap like that. Like for 3 codes and the Superior, that's dumb. But you know, hopefully if those ever drop, those might be good again. But as of right now, I think Troll and Toad has them for like 25 cents, so I should probably go and do that. And possibly order Chon, I don't know. The pre-release promo for this set is going to be Altaria, so that's going to be a head start for Garchomp Altaria decks. But we'll talk about those later. So, I guess some sort of random things to talk about now. We have Chelsea again. Chelsea is with us once more. And we have Jasmine Playboard with us as well. I do have a full art Skyla that I'm going to try to give someone, I guess. I thought I had 2 or 3, but apparently I only brought 1. So I don't know where the other 2 went to. I could have sworn I packed them, but evidently I did not. So I'm probably going to give that out to someone if they want it. And yeah, that pretty much covers it for right now. So I'm going to keep driving on. Should be there within an hour, I think. And we'll talk about Black White 5. No, Japanese Black White 5, US Black White 6, the Dragon sets. We'll talk about the Dragon sets, today's pre-release. When we get there, and Kooper's gripes and complains and moans and things about how horrible the set is or how good it is. Place your bets now. See you guys in a moment. Okay guys, it is almost 10 o'clock, so I actually just barely got here in time after stopping at Target. People are already lining up, so I guess we'll just go ahead and get in there. I guess there's not too much that I can't say afterward. It was mostly like metagame speculation, so there's not too much to talk about outside that I need to get out pre-release, I guess. I can save my rants and complaints for later, so I'll check back in after pre-release is over. Alright, a quick update. I got the best pre-release deck I've ever had. We got some Gibble, and I pulled double Garchomp, 1 reverse, 1 normal. And if that weren't enough, I got 3 Swab Blue and an Altaria. So I have Garchomp Altaria in pre-release. This is epic. I'm going to try to win some games. I also grabbed Volga, so the other thing in that deck that I use. That's sweet. Catch you guys later. Alright, and we're done here. It is a little past 4:30, getting close to 5, and we're done for today. This is absolutely... I did not bring her in, sorry. This was absolutely the best pre-release deck I have ever built in my entire life. So the very first pack I opened, I didn't get to save packs and stuff this time, but whatever. I'm sure I'll open plenty of Dragon, or not, well, EX Legend Tints, whatever. But anyway, so very first pack I open, I pull Bad Gibble, Bad Gabite, and oh baby, reverse good Garchomp. So I'm already like, sweet, I get to play Garchomp. Next pack I open, I think I get another Gibble, the good Gibble, and I get a normal hollow Garchomp. So I got a 2-1-2 Garchomp line in pre-release. Like, what the crap? And then if that weren't good enough, now you can't play the pre-release promo Altaria. They don't give you that until after the thing goes. I did get a couple of Swablu, 2 good ones or 2 bad ones and 1 good one. And then just because, you know, getting Garchomp wasn't enough, I actually pulled an Altaria as well. So I was like, wow. Okay, so I have Garchomp Altaria in pre-release. I wound up going 2-1. The guy I played first round, he had a first turn Terrakion. I kind of made some misplays on it. I don't know, I might could have eked it out, but he had a turn 1 Terrakion EX, and that's kind of tough to deal with. So, what else did I have in here? I had this Rufflet, which is a pretty cool card. It lets you, for one colorless, lets you search your deck for 2 guys with fight resistance. They can be evolutions too. So I think I used that in one game to get out. I had Altaria in my hand, so I used it to get out Braviary and Swablu, who has fight resistance, obviously. So yeah, he's pretty good for that. Hopefully he'll make his way into some decks. I don't know if this Braviary, not that great, but it, 1 for 30. I'm not, and 100 HP, free retreat. I'm not going to argue with that in pre-release. And I actually got one of the guys that I was hoping I would get, which was a Nose Pass and Probopass with magnetic lines. It's just like that Nuzleaf from Next Destinies that moves energy cards around to the bench, and it's pretty useful. And let's see who else. I got Audino. This Audino is pretty sweet. I don't know if it's as good as the one from Emerging Powers at pre-release, but it's pretty sweet. 90 HP, 2 colors for 40, remove all special conditions, but whatever, I didn't inflict any of those. And then CCC for 60 and heal 30 damage from him. So that's pretty stellar in pre-release, especially on a colorless guy you can put on any deck. I got Throw and Sock. At this point I've realized, okay, I'm going to be playing fighting. Here's 2 solid fighting basics, so I threw them in. And I got Call for Family Emolga. And I got Blend Energy, the correct one I needed. So I was able to do those, and then I just played I played 21 total energy. I think I pulled a Tool Scrapper, but I was like, I don't need to bother playing Tool Scrapper. I had, 13 fighting energy, 5 water, 2 metal, and then the blend, of course. The girl next to me actually had, she had the full Slocking line, the full Gothitelle line, and Garbodor, and with 3 tools, so she was actually able to use Garbodor to turn off Slocking's ability, which is pretty sweet. Sort of like Gastro Acid in like double battles and stuff, turning off Slocking's Truant. So that was pretty sweet. You can see some of these are in blue. I used clear sleeves for my pre-release deck. I have this little thing where the less I sleeve my deck, the luckier I get. So I went with Ultra Pro clear sleeves. I'm kind of starting to like them. And hey, I got the bulk of the pieces for my Garchomp Altaria deck to make it a real deck and not proxied up. Now that I'm this far along in it, I'm probably going to go ahead and finish it off. Or at least, if that, hopefully we'll find out that the Dragon Snarl theme deck, or no, Dragon Speed theme deck has the good Gabite. If so, I may just pick up that and use the bad Garchomp for now, because I'm probably going to be getting some of the 10s. I don't know. And, if I can pull a Chomp from a 10, that would be helpful. I mean, that's the nice thing about the Garchomp versus the Hydreigon, is that the Hydreigon is completely different. The other Garchomp is, I mean, he's clearly worse. He's got a free retreat, but he's clearly worse. But he does a similar thing. So we go to the draft, and we do get enough people for draft. But then it turns out that they sold all of the boxes of Dragons Exalted, so we didn't get to do a draft. We tried to get one going for Dark Explorers, but that kind of fizzled out too. I guess for the better. I didn't really want to spend $20 on Dark Explorers packs anymore. I think I've got enough supporters for one main deck anyway. And there's not really anything else in that set I want, and there weren't any other sets we wanted to draft in either, so we just kind of fizzled that out and just kind of played some constructed games. I got to play with Justin, that's your name. I will be able to remember your name now for a reason I'm not going to disclose. But yeah, we got to play some games, no, not on the Jasmine board, with Garchomp, which I was able to, I've been able to unproxy about half the things I have proxied, actually. Tool Scrapper, and obviously the things I just showed you, the Garchomp line. So hopefully I can get that deck fully unproxied soon. And we played 3 games, so that was pretty good. I don't get to play against other people in life, like, at all, especially not people who are competent, so that was really nice to be able to do. I don't have that privilege of having a league every week, so that was actually really cool for me, so thanks for doing that. And I meant to give you a full art Skyla, but I kind of forgot, so anyway, whatever, it'll be out next set, so I guess that's fine. So I guess that pretty much sums up how the games went. Game 1, I got Terrakion EX. Game 2, Audino, I got Audino out. I almost messed up because I I don't know. I turned 3. I didn't drop energy on Autono for the heel slap. I dropped it on something else for no reason. And I thought about asking him to take it back, but at the time it looked like it would be okay, and it was. I pretty much just swept him with Autono. And in the last game, I think, was where I was able to do that stuff with Rufflet. You know, some pretty good overall games. I want to give a shout out to Maria, Goddess Maria. I was able to kind of coordinate with her and get her to a pre-release, or point her to one that was really near her location. So I hope she had a good time, and can give me an awesome report on that. And hopefully she did get to have a draft, because I didn't. But oh well. I guess that's money I can save for Black 2, White 2. It's really bloody hot in this car, so I'm gonna wait and get back on the road. We still got hours of daylight left, so I'll check back in with you guys and do another driving in cars update with Jasmine riding. I mean, it may need to put a seatbelt on her. It's kind of dangerous. I mean, look at her ticket, right? Anyway, so that's what we'll do. I'll check back with you guys momentarily. Alright, we're back for our final installment of Dragon's Exalted pre-release video, and I have Jasmine here. She's buckled in now. You guys see that? Maybe. It's about as far as I can get. So she's buckled in now. So hopefully she'll be fine. So in this segment, we're going to do what I meant to do when the video kind of first started, which was talk about, you know, is this gonna work better if I flip the screen? Because there's a mic on this side. We'll have to see if this picks up my voice any clearer. Not rebounding off the windshield, but instead being directly to it. I can't see what the thing's recording, but that's fine because I'm driving. Therefore I need to be looking out the car window anyway. So anyway, gripes and complaints about this set. So let's start off with the big one. Dragon Selection obviously came out before Dragon Blade, Dragon Blast in Japan. So Japan has had the normal Rayquaza in their metagame for longer than they've had Garchomp and Hydreigon and stuff. We, on the other hand, do not have the normal Rayquaza. They decided to, we're just going to go ahead and put the secret rare Rayquaza in here, even though we haven't released the previously printed version of it, which, by the way, I know there's one that's like a Fungus, I think. I don't know if there's an Amoongus or not. I want to say it's just a solitary Fungus. If so, I wish they would have cut that and saved it for later, because I think there may be an Amoongus in an upcoming set. And given us Rayquaza normal print instead, but whatever, they didn't. Hopefully they'll stack them into Black 2, White 2 set, seeing as there's only Black and White Kooper BX, I want to say, and the Flygon line, yeah. I think that's it for Dragons, so hopefully they'll stack Rayquaza and a couple of others in there. Hopefully he'll be a promo, I don't know, something or other needs to be done with that. The guy I just mentioned, Justin, he was able to trade for one, so that was pretty sweet. He was able to trade. It was the same kid who pulled the Mewtwo and the Mewtwo EX and Next Destinies, and then traded that Mewtwo in for packs, and then pulled another Mewtwo EX. It's the same kid, and he traded him a Mewtwo normal print and a Ho-Oh EX normal print for it, which I guess is a pretty fair trade. I mean, yeah, pretty okay. But anyway, so Rayquaza is he's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, he's a great addition to Zekieel's. I may as well just call it Eel variant now, because it doesn't even really focus on Zekrom now. It's so varied in what it can do, which is what makes it really good. But anyway, so let's do some set breakdown. There are 128 cards, counting secret rares, in this set. By my tally here, which may be off by one or two, as I haven't actually seen all the cards yet. I'm just assuming rarities on some of these. There's 23 rares, 13 holographic rares, 12 EXs, 6 normal print, 6 full art, and the 4 shinies, which according to this total makes for 52 cards at the rare and above level. That is 40.6% of the set. Now, if rares, commons, and uncommons were all even, you know, we would have ideally a 33% of each thing, but of course they are not. So I believe that's good for second behind Next Destinies on percentage of rares in the set. And I guess we can go over the rares. I wrote down, some of these may be wrong, but it should be pretty much right. Let's see, there's Jumpluff, Yanmega, Beautifly, the ability Roserade. The other one actually has a significantly better attack. And oh look, we're getting into Abalama now, the beautiful. Our Governor Robert Bentley, who wants to be your brother, apparently. Anyway, yeah, the other Roserade's actually got a pretty decent attack. It's 1 grass, flip 4 coins for 30 times heads. It's, you know, average to 60 damage, so I'm not gonna gripe about that, especially not in pre-release. But anyway, probably better attack than the ability Roserade. Magmortar, whose art is possibly censored, so go buy Japanese Magmortars if you want them. Gyarados, which is like one of the most horrible at the time of it being released Gyarados ever. Walrein, who I think can have some sort of interesting options available to him. I'll talk about some of the abilities and stuff in a moment. Seismitoad, who sucks. Alamomola, who I want to stab it. Why is that a rare and Bouffalant's an uncommon? I mean, I'd rather the better card be uncommon, I guess, but it's still stupid. It's just stupid. It should have been uncommon, that's all there is to it. Both of them are Nectric. One of them has Flash Impact a la, what is that, Luxray GL level X? And the other one and I think the one with Flash Impact also has Energy Crush, which brings me back to, which one was that? I don't know, it does like 20 damage times the total number of energy your opponent has in play, something like that, for like 1 lightning, or maybe 1 lightning, 1 colorless. It's pretty good. And then the other one has like Energy Assist, which is, I think, attaches to energy basics from the discard pile, and I think may do damage too, I'm not sure. Those two are both rare. Shedinja is rare. I think Ninjask is actually uncommon, so that's kind of nice. Driftblim, the one that does 50 times special energies in the opponent's discard, that's rare. Gothitelle, Marowak, Honchkrow, Houndoom. Gosh, such bad rare. We're getting back on the road. Probopass, bad Garchomp, bad Hydreigon, Ambipom, and Braviary, and Dustox, I think, is also. I think that's all of the normal rares. The holographic rares, we have Melodic, which if N wasn't so bloody prevalent, especially on the first couple turns, I think that would be a lot better. But I mean, if you can get a triple computer search like that, that's, hey, here's my setup. So, and then, you know, at the same time, it's also like, oh, I need to end him right now. So, Sigalith is holographic, Garbodor holographic, Golurk, who we were discussing there on site, is being pretty good. He's definitely an anti-rare candy thing. I don't know how hard he hurts Garchomp, seeing as Garchomp almost prefers not to use rare candy in my experience. It's definitely still wanted, but not absolutely needed. Speaking of Garchomp, Hydreigon, the good ones. Slowking, who is only possibly good with Garbodor. I mean, that Slowking does have, he does do an automatic energy discard, so I don't know. Maybe that could be a possible application with Garbodor. Who knows? I mean, if you can't Dynamotor, you know, you can't accelerate energy other ways, and if you can, especially if you keep catchering and discarding energies off whoever they attach to, it could be good. Let's see, these are the ones I'm not sure about. Ninetales, I think, is going to be holographic. That's the one with the catcher ability, and it's essentially the new Leafeon. I think it's a little bit better than Leafeon. One fire, I think it has a base damage of 20, and then it does 50 times the number of special conditions. So combos there with the Moongus and whatnot. Wailord, the one that has 200 HP and can do massive damage. Amphi, which I did pull. I didn't show everything I pulled. I brought, in addition to my full art Skylas, I did bring some Mary's Request, which is notable because it is the only card released in the US, I believe, that is to say not you know, versus. Okay, we're still going. That is the only card released in the U.S. that portrays Jasmine. Mary's the subject of the card, but Jasmine's the one being interviewed. So I happened to pull Ampharos, MEMPHIS on the card too, so I stuck them in the same sleeve and was rather happy about that. Unfortunately, that Ampharos is... I want to make a deck with it, but it's not that good. The ability doesn't stack. It has to remain active, and that means that it gets to die to Terrakion, pretty much. Gigalith, which is... I don't know if that's going to be hollow or not. It's hollow in Japan. I don't necessarily feel it deserves, because almost all the hollows, I gotta give them props, almost all the holographics in this set are at least somewhat playable, except Slaw King, but lols. Yeah, pretty much every other holographic except maybe the Gigalith is playable, at least in a league deck or something for fun. The Gigalith, I think it does 10 damage, and I forget how much it costs. It does 10 damage, it's like at least 3. It does like 10 damage times the number of damage counters on your bench, like total, that are there. So it can do some massive damage for sure. But it doesn't count damage counters on him, I believe. So after that is Aggron. These are in the order Pokebeach had them, so it's the order I wrote them down in. Aggron should be pretty interesting. I don't know that it'll lead to the revival of Durant, but you know it provides another milling option that doesn't end your turn, so it's going to be nice there. And of course Altaria, and then of course there's the EXs Mew, Registeel, Ho, Terrakion, Rayquaza, and Giratina, which I pulled Giratina from my second bout of packs, which I probably wouldn't have played it even if I pulled it in my first 6. Just because it doesn't match the energy requirements I needed. Then of course your ultra rare, secret rares, Rayquaza, Superior Black-White ability, Reuniclus Black-White ability, and Crocodile from last set, Dark Explorers. So that's sort of a listing of all the rares, and some of them we talked about. See, there's some abilities. Jump Bluff. There was some like mixed up on the translation on this. Pokebeach actually had it right all along. I know like Bulbapedia had it to where the ability is at any time you can return it, and I think all cards attached to it to your hand. Sort of reminds me of Fossil Tentacruel, except we don't have Broken Time Space, so you can't really use it. I mean, if you had BTS in this format with damage swap, and you had some way to sustain the damage swap, you could literally wipe off all damage on your bench, you know, instantly because of BTS. You could just BTS, hop and skip, bloom, jump bluff, you know, move over 80 damage, leave it to the wind and back up, put it back down with BTS, do it again. You know, it would be a complete heal on your board with damage swap every turn. So maybe with computer search going into an A-Spec and Unlimited, we can finally see some non-donk decks. I don't know. It's definitely something that's worth noting in that format. Because I know Tentacool's Cowardice, Pokemon Power, said you couldn't use it the turn he got put in play, which sort of prevented that. And of course you can only move off 2 damage counters anyway, he only had 30 HP. See, the ability Roserade, it's computer search and when you evolve it, so it's something that works with the evolution spray. It's pretty good. Shedinja Ninjask, it's pretty much the same thing. Well, it's the it's the Ninjask from EX Dragon, essentially, and it's the Shedinja from, I think, EX Deoxys? I think that's the one. They're very similar in terms of like their attacks and their abilities and stuff. Should be pretty interesting. Another like possible fun deck to make. Sigalith, of course, has gotten some hype. He's probably not going to be that good, but you know, it's a start to the Safeguard Pokemon. He's essentially, I know some people pointed this out, I recognized it right away. He's essentially the Sandstorm Wobbuffet for the new era of EXs. You know, comes out a little while after the EXs do, and just completely shuts them down. But you know, well, at least back then we didn't have Catcher. You know, we had to rely on Reversal to get around Wobbuffet. Yeah. Garbodor is definitely something people are going to be experimenting with. It's something that I wish Garbodor had on the first 2 times he was printed, but finally they got it right on the third one. First one was what? I've been through what, 3 Garbodors. One of them was in Noble. I think there was one in Noble Victories, one in Next Destinies. Is that right? No, maybe Emerging Powers. No, I think it was Noble Victories. There was one with Gentle Rap, and there was one with, I think, Toxic. I don't know. All I know is that don't use the Trubbish from this set. Use the Trubbish that has Pull Out. Anyway, that's definitely going to be something nice. It'll depend on what combos people can find with him. But shutting off Dynamotor, Dark Trance, Dark Cloak, all that stuff. It smells like fossil muck. You just got to beware of Tool Scrapper and Volt Bolts and things like that. So, should be something interesting to look forward to anyway. I already mentioned about Ninetales. The Ampharos kind of has almost a traditional Ampharos power now, I guess. Started, was it Dark Ampharos that started that? I think so. Dark Ampharos from Neo Destiny. And then I think Dark, or wait, or is that when you evolve? I want to say the Dark Ampharos from Team Rocket Returns damaged you when you evolved, but Ampharos has usually had some sort of power or body pertaining to when the opponent does some action, they get damage counters. And this one is 30 damage each time they attach an energy from their hand, not from anywhere, just from the hand. So it definitely rains on Blastoise's Parade, ironically. Also messes up Terrakion EX and Emboar. Doesn't mess up Eels and doesn't mess up Ho-Oh EX, but, you know, it's whatever, it's a thing. I wish the attack was a little bit better, but what can you do? Aggron is, yeah, I gotta have something with Aggron that I'm gonna be trying. Quite possibly a variation of Hammer Time, where you get back maybe just one hammer, but you get back Devolution Spray, and you're able to mill multiple you're able to keep reusing Devolution Spray, ideally using hammers to keep the opponent at bay, of course, with energy. Not going to work that well against Eels, but against anything else, it can be pretty okay. So I'm thinking some sort of a variation of Hammer Time. Certainly you could also just run it with Durant and just go for maximum milling potential, but I don't know. It's it's something worth trying, certainly. Another mill option while we have it. Should stick around for next format as well. Format that's going to begin in 2013 in the fall. So we'll have some time for more stuff to come out. So hopefully some more mill decks, because I know I love Durant. Alternate win conditions for the win. So that's it for. I feel like I missed something. I think I talked about all the holos. Were there any? I don't know. Oh, the Walrein, yeah. Automatic paralyze on his attack, and he doesn't shuffle himself back into the deck like Exalted does. But you're gonna need some way, I think, to keep the lock going. There's obviously not going to be a Vileplume anymore. So what is it? Is it Soaked Ice or no? Ice and Tomb, I think, is what I think one of the things was Soaked Ice. One of the translations, but I think it's Ice and Tomb, which kind of makes more sense than Soaked Ice. Soaked Ice kind of melts. If you guys have ever tried to throw ice in a try to soak ice, throw it in water, it usually melts after a while. Melts into water. Imagine that. Too many ums. So let's see the EXs. So there's Ho-Oh. If he's in your discard pile, as you throw him away with Ultra Ball or whatever. You can flip a coin. I guess for each one that's in there, you can try to use their ability once. Pretty sure that's the first ever ability or anything that's been able to activate from the graveyard. There's certainly plenty of stuff in Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic that does that, but it's a first for Pokemon. And the next Black 2, White 2 will have an Audino that's essentially a Poke Healer Plus with one of them played. That you can activate from the hand. Essentially play the Audino as a trainer card, which is pretty sweet. To get around trainer lock and stuff. So that's even more reason to make, things like Exalted, Gothitelle bad. But that's him. When he revives, you get to also attach 3 energies to the discard pile, so he's instantly powered up. Hopefully someone can make a sweet deck with that. It only has 160 though, which is kind of a bummer, but especially since you need so much energy on him, you know, in order to get Rainbow Burn up to doing massive amounts of damage. It only counts basic energies. It's just such Mewtwo bait. I don't see it being that good, especially with just 160. Then you only need, what, 8 energies with Mewtwo to win it, KO it? And, you know, chances are before it's really a threat, it's going to need to have about 6 on it anyway, so... there's that one. Mew EX, which is essentially a reprint of the one from Legend Maker. The attack is different. It's pretty much Shaman drop on an attack. Of course, Shaman's gone. Yeah, Shaman is gone now. And just like the previous one, it can use any attack anywhere as if it was printed on Mew. Has to pay for the cost of it, just like Mew Prime. But you know, I don't think it's going to become its own deck. You could actually revive the old Mew Trick deck with that and Zebstrika, but I mean, it might be worth playing for nostalgia's sake, but that's about it. Terrakion EX, as if we need another Terrakion. FC does 50, ignores resistance, and FFC does 90, and I'm not sure what the exact ruling on that is. I feel like it's one of those... It's still going. I feel like it's one of those engineer's adjustments off a portrait where you don't want to pick, or like you have to pick the engineers, but you don't have a basic energy in your hand, but you have to have a basic energy in your hand to play it, and therefore if you don't, it needs to be confirmed that you don't have it because you can't not pick. Yeah, it's horrible. It's a bad situation. Like, ideally, like, you confirm it with a judge, but what if you're, like, playing at home or something? You know, I guess you have to get a neutral third party. I don't know, it seems kind of dumb. I'm going to assume for the moment that your hand is at least somewhat private knowledge, and that you can attach 1. Essentially, you can attach up to 2, because how are they going to know? You know? But anyway, because I know there was one guy, the guy battled first round, actually felt like he couldn't use Pump Smash because he had no energy in his hand to attach with it, and I'm pretty sure that's not the case. Worst case scenario, you'd have to show your hand to an opponent, to your opponent, or to a third party or a judge. You know, if it was an official tournament. But I don't know. I'm going to assume for the moment you can essentially read it as up to until I see a ruling otherwise. See, Rayquaza EX has definitely been hyped. In Japan, he hasn't lived up to his, you know, what we initially thought. But you know, I mean, Garchomp is really the only deck right now besides Ray itself that really focuses on a Dragon type attacking. Hydreigon doesn't really attack too much. The Dragon type one, it's mainly plus mostly equals macely. New word just been invented right here on this channel. Darkrai's the main attacker in that deck, so if Garchomp happens to wane, Rayquaza could, his stock could definitely go up. It's hard to turn down the ability to one-shot anything in the game at all for 4 energy discarded, and one-shot almost everything for 3, unless it's got Eviolite, and that's, yeah. Unless it's got Eviolite or Large Cloak or some other sort of protective effect. But yeah, let's see, that brings us to Giratina. I'm missing one on my list. I'll remember it though in a minute. Giratina, I don't really see him. He's not going to be his own deck, definitely. I think I've seen him as a potential add-in to Darkrai Hydreigon. I don't even like him in that. It's too fat, really. I did pull one, and I'm glad that they picked Altered Form, the original one from Diamond and Pearl, because that, at least so far, is my favorite legendary until Kooper improves otherwise for being Ice type. Giratina is my favorite legendary, so I'm kind of glad I pulled him, even though his card isn't that good. What is the other EX? I wrote it down. Oh, Registeel. There we go. Yeah, Registeel. First attack is definitely the one you want to use. the second one with special metal being rotated out, it's just not going to be as tanky as it could have been. And even if it was, Reshiram Black-White still one-shots it, doing Blue Flare for 240. And then, you know, even if you stacked, well, with a plus power, it would still one-shot it. Even if you somehow stacked 4 special metal, Eviolite, and the Protect Charge minus 20 effect, that's still only 80 damage reduced. So with plus power, Blue Flare would hit for 260. So derp. All your hard work still went down in flames. But yeah, the triple laser, it's kind of a better Q-Rim, or at least a more splashable Q-Rim. We can put it that way. Definitely something that could see some play in decks like Eels that can, you know, accelerate some quick energy of whatever color that he doesn't care. Yeah, just you know, something to keep in mind. I don't know how big it'll get, but it'll be something. It spreads around a decent amount of damage for 3 colorless energy. You know, it's solid. What can I say? Don't use it with Dusk Noir Black or Dusk Noir from Black 2 White 2. There are better things available than doing 90. Just use Darkrai and do 90 and then 30 and move that around. Don't do 30 to 3 different things. That's just silly. Trainer cards in the set. This is one of the worst sets ever as far as trainer cards go. Clay, our TO, he said the first person to bring him a supporter they pull from this set will win a prize. Of course, there are no supporters in this set. There are a grand total of 4 trainer cards. Fortunately, the ones that are here are pretty okay. There's the two tools, Rescue Scarf and Giant Cape, which had it was Oki Manto in Japanese, Manto being like mantle, which FFT players will know is sort of like a cape. So they did go with cape and not mantle, and they didn't go with big or large, which Oki can translate to. They went for giant, so I guess that's fine too. Giant cape. Tool Scrapper kept its name, and Devolution Spray. You will be able to use base set Devolution Sprays if you got them. I don't know if you need a reference or not. Possibly will. It's different, but it's not super different. I mean, I don't think you have to use a reference for revive or energy retrieval, so I don't know if you will have to use it for that or not. But anyway, that should be pretty okay with that. So I think that goes over. Oh wait, known decks. Okay, the known decks coming out of this. I guess I already kind of talked about them. We know Garchomp Altaria. We know the Darkrai Hydreigon. I'm sure there's going to be Garbodor variants, and I touched on a couple of other things that I think it'll be interesting to see what people come up with as we, especially when we get TCGO back. I'll be able to play against some things maybe. But that's pretty much going to do it for this. As far as where I would rank this set, it's not the worst Black-White set. I think that's forever going to go to Merging Powers. I'm going to say better than Next Destinies, simply because, you know, all the holo rares are playable. There's still definitely some trash rares, but Next Destinies has the Monkey Trio, and anytime a set has the Monkey Trio, it automatically plummets in worth to me. So I still rank them as Noble Victories being the best. Just a lot of, like, at least fun, playable cards in that. I guess Dark Explorer is second because it does have the supporter reprints. I guess Dragon's Exalted has to slide in there at number 3, followed by Black White 1, Next Destinies, and Emerging Powers. So that's how I rank them. But Black 2 White 2, our 7th Black and White set, it's gonna be a thing. Let me tell you, it's gonna have good supporters, good item cards, good stuff, good abilities, good Pokemon, good. I don't think there's any special energies. I feel like they're trying to make up for the lack of good trainers with special energy cards, and like, okay, fine, whatever. I'm looking forward to Keldeo Blastoise, Skyla, who If you've seen, I have the pretty full art printed Skyla. It's amazing. It's not as amazing as that, but you know, it's still pretty amazing. So makes Stage 2 decks nicely lippingly consistent, and I love that. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that. I'm probably gonna try to hit up at least 2, maybe 3 of those pre-releases. I heard from Clay that there's supposedly a TO for Alabama now, Abalama, so I may be able to hit up some stuff there. We'll have to see. I'll have to keep a look on the tournament list on wherever. So I guess that's gonna about wrap it up for this video. How long is this segment going on? Wow, okay, 30 minutes in this segment alone, and we're gonna hit a stop sign here. So I guess this is a good cue. I think I'm actually about to make my turn, going toward replays. So I will let you guys go with that. I hope you enjoyed. I actually had to drive back to my grandmother's house to retrieve my camcorder to make this vid. So I decided, though, I really wanted to make the video mainly so I could show off my Jasmine playboard. But you know, whatever. So thanks again to Justin for playing some test games with me. That was sweet. I almost never get to do that. And also to Maria for getting to go to our pre-release. Hopefully things went well with her. I guess I'll find out when I get home. And that will do it for this video. There's not going to be a trivia question for this video. However, do leave, if you would like, what your favorites from this set, favorite card, whatnot, which one you think are interesting. Leave comments about that below, and I'll see you guys for another pre-release at a later time. Son of a teenage woman impregnated by Sir Paul McCartney at the 2012 Summer Olympics hosted by London, England.
Hello.